Okay, hello and welcome to another episode of Hiring and Inspiring. Today's guest is Gurj Singh. Gurj is a recent connection of mine. He is a chap who's very fresh and very new into the world of sales. He's working as an SDR in his new role. He's been doing it a couple of months, and I'm looking forward to really understanding how he's getting on in the new role, how he's found the sort of career transition he's made. Coming from a different industry into sales, and getting to know a bit more, and an opportunity for him to share his journey and sort of talk all things all things sales. Sorry, as we like to do on this show. So, Gurj, with that introduction, mate, welcome to the show. How are you getting on?
Yeah, good, mate. Really appreciate for the opportunity to be on here.
Good, great to have you, mate. So, look, I want to get straight into it. I should have introed you. Your new company. You've joined a business called Andzen.
Yep.
So you've been there a couple of months. Quite broadly speaking, from your own sort of experiences so far, how are you finding the new role so far?
Yeah, it's not bad. I really enjoyed being at Andzen. Before I go into it, I'll give a little brief intro about who they are. So Andzen's a customer journey agency. So we help e-commerce merchants convert visitors to subscribers through leveraging Klaviyo and other apps as well. So that's a bit about them. For me, I'm finding their role really, there's a lot of learning and there's a lot of stuff to dissect. So I'd never had marketing experience before, let alone digital marketing and e-commerce. As a UX UI designer, I did help a lot of merchants design their websites, but not on the marketing side. So this is a whole new game. So not only had to learn sales, but also how to leverage marketing and how everything works in that space. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's been really unique.
So a couple of things to learn: the sales side of things,
Yep.
how sales works, and also the industry itself, right? The e-commerce marketing space.
Absolutely. Yep. So this is like whole
Yeah.
new. So I've been in B2B SaaS before, but this it was a whole new like a ball game or whole new experience for me. But I
Yeah.
don't shy away from experiences. So I was
Yeah.
like, yep, I want to go in and try this space out.
Nice. So just to maybe go into a bit more detail, what exactly are you selling in the role, Anz, and what's the solution you're offering?
So basically, we offer end-to-end services in email and SMS marketing. So most merchants can find it difficult and complex to utilize Klaviyo's features and platform. And that's where we come
Yeah.
in, from offering strategy to creative to design and building out the flows in Klaviyo for the merchant. So that's get the baseline. And we are a boutique agency, so that's our niche.
And what you say the merchants? What do you actually mean by that? Is like online retailers? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, that's it. So
Yeah.
e-commerce stores, businesses running, just e-commerce
Hmm.
retailers. Yeah.
And your role, what are you sort of your tasked with doing? Are you sort of winning all new customers? Are you closing deals? Are you booking appointments for account execs? What's the nature of your sort of day to day?
Yeah. So day to day is basically from researching new clients, so outbound prospecting, and then sending emails, and then basically doing cold calling as well.
Yeah.
So getting them in, book them in for a strategy call and with the CEO. And basically, it's really interesting because I have to understand the client or the prospect's service and what's going on in their website. And that's how I tailor my strategy for them. I guess it just catering to the pain point. Like, why would that e-commerce merchant want end-to-end services? You know what I mean? Like, I gotta uh, cater to that pain point that gap they have in their system that they don't realize.
Yeah. So you talk about that, finding that pain point. Are you
Yep.
then say before you call up a potential prospecting client, are you doing quite a bit of research on them beforehand? So you're not just sort of calling up anyone and offering a generic
No,
sort of
no,
service or solution.
no. So basically, I look at their site and then I do my prospecting and then I'll do an email and the email is really specific and personalized to them. So for instance, if I'm on an e-commerce website right now, and I'm going through the flows and triggers of their Klaviyo setup, that if I find a flaw or a gap, I'll mention that. And then I'll also mention at the bottom as a CTA that, we're here to help you, not obviously going in like we're here, we'll do this for you, but giving that soft call for them to reach out. So, okay, I have this problem. They might be able to help out. So, and then that's basically warming up the lead. And then I call them to ask, hey, did you ever look at the email? What do you
Yeah.
think? Yeah.
So how would you sort of structure your day then? Maybe between times doing the research, time sending the emails, time making the calls. How does it work in maybe a typical day?
So in a typical day, so I'd say in a week, from Monday to around about Tuesday, it's all about, researching, prospecting, putting stuff into the pipeline, or if stuff's already there,
Yeah.
getting that out there, and then obviously doing what I've said, looking at a client's website or prospect website. And then I would get all that information and then put into a template email and then send it off. And then the next day would be cold calling. And then if none of those strategies work, obviously I'll do another follow-up. And it's just a constant loop, like it's a constant cycle. You just have to keep repeating it. But you also
Yeah.
have to learn from it and pivot, because you can't
Yeah.
keep repeating the same process, if
Yeah,
that
for
makes sense.
sure. And you mentioned about your, trying to, you're selling, you're setting up the next stage for, was it the CEO to do
Yeah,
the further the meeting or whatever. I often think about this with SDRs. Do you see yourself? Are you selling that meeting, or are you selling the solution that your product and service offers? Do you know what I mean by that question?
yeah, that's a great question. Like initially, when I started my career or my journey in sales, we've been told to sell the meeting or
Mm,
not sell the solution or the product from the get-go. And it makes sense. But one thing I've dissected from that, it's like you got to sell the pain point. Like it's not about the software, it's not about the product, it's not about the meeting. If there's a pain point, or if there's a gap in the prospect's system or infrastructure,
yeah.
you got to point to that. That's like I look at it. If I was running a business, I had a gap. I wouldn't just take a call or meeting because if someone's offering me something that might be good. I'll be taking that meeting if they said, "Oh, you've got this," and I'll be like, "Yeah, I do," and it's a major flaw in my system. If that solution can fix it, I'm going to take the call and see what happens next.
Yeah, yeah, gotcha. So you're always going back to you know, the problem that you're trying to solve. You're not
Yeah,
banging on about how great the meeting will be or how great your solution is. It's back to
yes,
constantly going back to that problem.
yeah. So I had to pivot. So initially, that's what I was like. I have to sell the meeting, and then
Okay.
the CIO will take it from there, and hopefully this turns out a deal. But that's what I realized. Like, no, that's not working. That's not going to work, or that's just not an efficient way to do things. Like,
Yeah,
got to look at it from the founders or the prospect's point of view. Why would they want to take that if it's not an issue or if it's not a gap?
yeah. You kind of when you're focusing in on that pain, so to speak, the meeting will almost sell itself. That
Yeah,
they'll be
that's it.
so, oh yeah,
Yeah,
they'll be booking you in for that. Well, they'll be like saying, when can I get that meeting in an ideal world, right?
yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of what I learned from my CEO, who's taught me that in early stages.
Yeah.
It's catering to the pain point, catering to that gap.
Yeah, nice. I like it, mate. So if we just go back to what we were saying right at the start, it's been a big learning curve.
Yep.
What have been some of the main challenges that you faced in the role, or some of the things you've maybe got a little bit you've struggled with initially?
It's for me, it was cold calling
Yeah,
and just like having a real conversation with someone, and then not only having that, but also getting to the point. Like, you're talking to someone who doesn't know who you are. They probably don't want anything to do with you. And you got to get to the point. You know what I mean? And that's one thing I really struggled with in the earlier days. Cold calling just made me feel like, oh, it's a daunting process.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to someone random. They might not like it. They might, say, piss off, I've got something else to do. So, you know, navigating that was hard.
How have you navigated it, you think? Because I saw, I think one of your posts that did catch my eye was some strategies you posted about how you've had a bit more success from your cold calling. Are you able to sort of share any of the sort of
Yeah,
your
yeah,
secrets that you've that have allowed you to improve?
yeah, absolutely. So it basically, like I said, they don't know who you are. So getting straight to the point. Hi, this is Gurj from Andzen. How are you? More personalized, or this is Gurj from Andzen. You don't know who I am. We haven't spoken to each other, but I've found this issue, or do you have an issue with this setup? So getting straight to the point and
Yeah.
being mindful of the time. Like they probably in a meeting, or they're probably crafting an email, and you just called out of blue. So you're not important. So that's the reason why. Well, that's what I learned
Okay.
from cold
Yeah.
calling, and then obviously going back to the post, I learned to take notes, some key points, because you're not going to remember everything after the call. So once you've taken those key points, okay, yep, this is what happened. This is how I can improve the next call or talking
Yeah.
to someone.
Yeah. That's what I liked about it. It was very learn from each call, reflect on each call, rather than just sort of go through the motions and make another call, which I think a
Yeah,
lot of people do. They just make a call. All right, that went okay. Let's just do that again. See what happens.
yeah, absolutely. I just want to add in another point that I had in that post was also always dissect the call with your peers or your manager, because they know more than you, and they could obviously guide you in a really good way. Say, okay, yeah, this is what you learned. This is how you can do this call, navigate this conversation better.
Yeah, that's good. Like, don't suffer in silence as well.
That's it. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people make that mistake. I mean, I've definitely sort of, and this is, I can often come back to me. My problem is just my own ego. Like, I think, yeah, that was a great call. There's nothing I could have improved there. And then, but if you get someone else's opinion on it, and there's always something that you could have tweaked or could have improved. I think
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
sounds like you've got that, mate. That that mindset of always trying to learn, and develop, which is really really admirable. I just going back to what you were saying about just sort of cold calling, like that intro to your call. It sounds like you're quite a fan of just getting to the point straight away, which I like. I always, with my cold calls, I'm often, especially if I've never spoken to them, I try and lead with. I heard this principle a while back. I think it was called like "Why you, why now" or something.
Yeah.
So it's like the reason. So appreciate. You often start with like, "I appreciate I've just called you a little bit out of the blue here. However, the reason I'm calling you up right now on this whatever Friday afternoon is this.
Yeah.
It just or it could be, the reason I'm calling up is I've helped a bunch of companies similar to yourself solve X, Y, and Z. And when you just sort of cut to it like that, the reason I've called you now is this. It just seems to have. That was when I just started having a lot more impact to my calls,
Yeah.
rather than just kind of just calling people up and asking, the generic sort of qualifying questions, or those questions like the budget and all that kind of stuff. Like, is that something that resonates with your calls that you found?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like I probably banging on about this point, but I think it's really relevant. It's just to the pain point, to the gap. Like, why why would they want to associate with you if you know it doesn't make sense. Like I think if I was in that position, I wouldn't be associating if I didn't have anything that caters for me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's why I get straight to the pain points. Like you've got this, or do you realize you have this, but we can
Mm.
offer you this to then simplify or boost your infrastructure or current system.
Do you lead with like the research that you've done, by the way? So,
Uh,
I've been having a look at your website and I found out X, Y, and Z. I think you could do, does that work?
Yeah, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
because because we specialize in this and we've worked with a ton of clients that had similar problems. It makes sense to bring that out, to bring out the research and tell them this is what you have, or you probably know you have this, but we
Yeah.
can help you.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Man, that's all great. I want to go back in time a little bit. So
Yep,
prior to this sales role, you were working as a product designer.
yeah, yep,
Is that right? In the world of design.
yep.
So what brought about the sort of the career switch going from the world of that world design to sales?
Look, I love design. I actually studied architecture, and I completed a bachelor's. So design's been part of my life forever. But for me, the change happened because I was just kind of stuck there, just doing stuff and just being on the computer whole day.
Yeah.
And for me, I like to interact. I like to talk. I like to create conversations. And I just saw sales. I didn't even know tech sales existed before I even got into it. And so for me, I was like, I can be in tech, but I can also, it just creates a lot of opportunities. Sales does.
Yeah.
So I thought, you know what? I think I see tech sales as a long-term career. So I made the jump.
And what was it about? I guess you said you like to talk to people, you like to make stuff happen. What is it about yourself that thinks that you'll have a long and successful career in sales? What are you really going to be bringing to the table? Do you
Because I understand software and I love software.
think?
So and I understand the capability of software. Like it creates a lot of opportunities. And so in this day and age, I think if something that can help someone and possibly boost their current business, why not? So and that's the reason why I think having that passion for software, but also knowing how to deliver that in a conversation is really
Yeah.
important.
So that the world of like sort of you can sell all kinds of stuff, right? Just people sell anything from furniture to milk, whatever. But the world of tech sale that made sense to you because
Yeah,
selling tech
absolutely.
is something you get, you understand it, you're passionate about it.
Yep.
It just is a match made in heaven by the sound of things.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Tech sales, obviously the daunting part of it was cold calling, but I never shy away from challenges. And
Yeah,
I know that to succeed, you have to do something that's not comfortable and you've got to step out. So, but
yeah.
the upside of tech, there's a lot of upside in tech sales, what I saw. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to take this opportunity.
Hmm. Yeah, it's. I think just that moment when you say there's that sort of discomfort, like around, I've got to make these calls. I don't want to do it. I don't know if this person like
Yeah,
that. Whenever I'm feeling that in my, like, it's a sign that I need to do it. It's
yeah,
like
absolutely.
I need to lean into this. Like whenever I feel like I'm not sure I want to do this, or it's not. It's a sign that's what you got to do
Yeah,
because if it's comfortable, if it's easy, then great, anyone can do it.
yeah.
You won't get that growth, you won't get that progression you're looking for if it's constantly comfortable. Were you feeling a bit comfortable in your sort of previous role, by the way?
Uh, in in a way, but I also was thinking long term, and long
Mm,
term, I was like, I don't see myself doing this.
yeah,
So and kind of having you know, not a midlife crisis, but it's like, where do you see yourself in the next five,
yeah,
10 years? And do you want to do something that, probably makes you semi happy? Like, I want to do something that not only makes me happy, but I'm passionate about. Sometimes you're gonna have days where you don't want to go, some like days
yeah,
where you don't want to do the job, but mo it's just that's part of the process. So
yeah.
you just gotta be passionate and enjoy it.
It's I think with a sales job, it's like it's ups and downs. Whereas a lot of other jobs, it's steady. It's sort of flat. Your job, you come in at 9, you leave at 5, you just
Yep,
go through the day,
yep,
steady. Whereas it's up, and you have a few great calls, and you lose a deal, and it's
yep.
all over the place. But like, and for a lot of people, it's not for them.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
I personally, it sounds like you do as well. Like just the I love the ups and downs. I love the roller coaster because it's never boring, and and to some extent you can control
Yeah,
the ups and downs. Because the better you do, the harder you work. Often, the more ups you
yeah,
get. Is that something that you found so far?
yeah, absolutely. There's like I said, there's a lot of opportunity there, and a lot of growth in sales. Like just you start as an SDR, but you can go anywhere, and it just
Mm,
depends on your work ethic as well. You got to work hard, and it's not even working hard. You got to also understand how to pivot and how to leverage. And there's just a lot of mechanisms there. You just got to play to it. So,
yeah.
and that's thankfully I'm learning that earlier on in my career. So yeah, that'll definitely help me down the track.
You talk about some of where the growth opportunities where you want to go. What are some of your, I know not always easy question to answer, but what are some of your longer term ambitions in sales? What does the sort of future sort of look like to you in an ideal world?
It's a good question. I always look at it this way, like who knows what tomorrow's going to be like, and no one knows what the next hour is going to be like. So for me, I kind of let things play out by itself, if that makes sense. So let's talk about promotion. If I want to promote, if I'm doing good and I'm bringing deals, I'm bringing you know clients, um, I'll let my management judge me and see if I'm right. But I guess there are some questions there, like, what if they think if they promote you and you're doing a really good job, who's going to keep that same level? Like they might keep you at that same level because, if they promote you, they're not going to, like, you know what I mean? Like you're not going to get that same output. But
Yeah.
I'm ambitious, but I really like to focus on the current situation. And like I said, I'll let it play out. But
Yeah.
look, I I probably do see myself in a leadership position, leading teams, but for me, I struggled a lot in tech and getting in. So I want to help people to break into tech, whether it's tech sales, and guide them, like because it's really important that we help each other out and build a community.
Mm. On that bit about setting goals,
Yep,
I think it's something I think about a lot, and it's because it can be can be risky to sort of set like too specific a type of goal. Like
yep,
you talk about, you'd rather just sort of do the best you can in the here and now and see where
yep,
it takes you.
yep,
And so just on that, what I try and do is rather than
yep,
be set like specific goals, like right out, for example, yourself, like you talk about your management.
yep,
Example of a goal could be, I want to be in a management position in by 2025 or whatever.
yep, yep,
That's quite a specific goal. I,
yep,
I always think there's a bit of risk to those goals because if you don't necessarily hit that, if you're not a manager by 2025, just for
yep,
example, then you may get disgruntled or whatever.
yep,
You might not be happy with that. But for me, it's more like just to go back to what you were saying about doing what you can, doing the best you can, and see where it takes you. If you can just add another layer on top of that, is having sort of just even quite broad, longer term goals, almost like more like overarching purposes. The goals will look after themselves. I found
yep,
something I did is I started to think about goals much longer term, so like and much broader. So I want to be the best for me, like the best recruiter I possibly can.
yep,
I want to be the greatest recruiter, whatever. That was like this overarching thing that I was just working towards day in day out, and then the goals looked after themselves.
yep.
Is that something that do you think you could maybe resonate with or use in your career?
Absolutely. I 100% resonate with that. It's, yeah, sorry, go ahead, Joe.
No, I was going to say because it just links me back to one of I think your posts you did the other day about small victories.
Yep.
Is that because I think if you focus on the small little wins in the day, the bigger goals, the bigger goals often look after themselves. Is that what you meant?
Yeah, absolutely. It's for me, like I realized, earlier on, from I had a mindset, I have to get this deal, or I have to get this meeting, or I have to show purpose built results. But then I realized, well, you're not focusing on things that are going to help you get there. So to get that meeting, you got to have a meaningful conversation, you got to connect with the prospect. To get that deal, you got to cater to that person's pain point. Why would they buy your services, or why would they buy your software? So, and then from that, you also learn from your mistakes. How can I make this better? So all those small aspects fit into it. So yes, it's good to have a bigger goal, but it's also to focus on each step. Like, you're not going to go to the second floor just like that. Obviously, yeah, use an
Yeah.
elevator, but you'll use steps each
Yeah.
by each step, to get there.
Yeah. Reverse engineer. So set the goal and then reverse engineer how you're going to get there. The small
Yeah,
steps.
yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Nice, mate, nice. One final post of yours which caught my eyes. I think it's something about you saying about what you do on a Sunday evening,
Yep.
sort of planning out the week ahead, and how crucial that has been in you having success. What can you tell me about that sort of Sunday evening routine, if you like, and how has it helped you?
So I follow a lot of people on LinkedIn, and there was this, you could say, this conversation going on about, preparing for the week on a Sunday. And I dived into it. I'm like, how does that help? Like, I struggled before I started using that strategy. And it's helped me a lot, because in a sales week, it can be flat out, like talking to prospects, emailing, like it can be all over the place. But having a structure, having a process in place to go from point A to point C, it's really important. So, for instance, I would plan out, okay, Monday's going to be researching, prospecting. Tuesday's going to be outreaching, cold emailing, and then Wednesday could be cold calling, and then Thursday could be follow up, and then Friday could be preparing for next week. But it just fits in. Like, you got to have that process in place, and doing it on Sunday. I know Sunday is supposed to be your break, and you got to take that day off. But I think to be that number one, to be top 1%, you got to work hard. You know what I mean? So you got
Yeah,
to prepare for it.
it's not always the most popular opinion, but you do have to sort of go the extra mile, right? And
Yeah,
that sometimes that does involve late hours or working on the weekend, and it's not for everyone. But some people will swear by it as well. That's I want to do it. If it as long as it, I don't know, isn't impacting your life too much outside of work and isn't taking over, I would say I each to their own.
yeah,
I guess it just that allows you to kind of come in on a Monday morning. You not already know what you're doing, rather than just being like, right, what the hell am I doing this week?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just like, for me, when I didn't have that place, like, okay, I'm supposed to do this, I'm supposed to do that. Oh,
Yeah,
now I'm kind of in a really rough place. So for having that in place, it's like, yep, done this, done that. Okay, cool. My week's
Mm.
finished. And now,
Like anything, you've
yep,
just done it. You've done it by learning, right? So you kind of you made the
yeah,
mistake, so to
yep,
speak, of not having a plan,
yep,
um, and you sort of learn, right? I do need to have a plan. And
yeah,
it's yeah, like anything, you just have kind of need to make the mistakes
yep.
to
So
to sort of get where you are
absolutely.
now.
Yep,
Love it, mate. Oh, final question for you. This is around, and this is maybe kind of linked to sort of the overall why of
yep,
what we've kind of spoke about, the why of what you do, the why of yeah, why you're sort of planning your week out on a Sunday night and getting
yep.
up in the morning and hitting the phones. What does sort of success mean to you, and what's the sort of that can be personally, professionally, but what is the reason that and the why that is driving you, um, in your career so far?
Because I learn every day. I learn new things. I learn new things that I can apply down the track, or I can apply. If I learn something today, I can apply that tomorrow. So for me, the skill sets I have, I'm really thankful for that. And I look at, and to me, I don't know, I've never had a way to measure success. I think there should be a way to measure success, like, what you're doing. Have you done something meaningful? So it's a really hard question for me to
Hmm.
answer. Like, I don't know how, but like I said, learning something that could benefit not only you but the business. For me, it's taught me how to conversate, how to create meaningful connections with prospects, and obviously, solving people's pain points.
Mm. And outside of work, personally, what does success mean to you?
Uh, Actually, to be honest, I don't have kind of like a social life. For me,
Okay, mate.
for me, it's basically just, I want to be a better person each day. So how can I
Mm.
do that? And one of the things, or hobbies you could say that I do is boxing. I love boxing.
Okay, yeah.
Boxing taught me that mental toughness aspect that you've got to keep pushing, got to keep getting to these new heights, and just leveraging that um, aspect of physicality into my professional life. So yeah,
Love it, mate. I love it how it's all around. Like you say, just if you're learning and improving, then that's success to you.
yeah, absolutely.
Really good stuff, mate. Gurj, thank you very much for joining me on the show today. Really enjoyed, hearing a bit more about how you're getting on in the new role, and also the day to days, the ups and downs of SDR life. Hearing it from someone who is right out here in the trenches, day after day, doing some great stuff, mate. So I appreciate you coming on. Thank you for sharing your journey, and I've no doubt you're going to experience a lot of success in the role in the future. Gurj Singh, thank you very much.
Thank you.